it's a kind of comedy that I think they think they have become too sophisticated for.
Yes.
Because it's supposed to, they might say, well, all it would take is for one person to, say the right thing and all of this would fall apart. But that's the fun of it. The fun of it is that nobody says the one thing that would clear up the entire misunderstanding. And again, it's sort of, people might roll their eyes at it now and go, oh, no, that wouldn't really happen. Well, no, you're watching a movie. And in the movie, this is what's happening. And it is a screwball comedy. Just like the movies that inspired Woody Allen, and just like Woody Allen's first several movies, they are screwball comedies.
The early funny ones.
The early funny ones. This would have been one. I don't think Woody would have made the movie exactly like. You know what this is? This is like, it's like the movie within a movie in Purple Rose of Cairo.
Yes, exactly that. Yes. That's perfect. I agree, and it's an entertaining movie. You are 100% correct. And I enjoyed every minute of it. And you know what, James? Actually, there was a face I saw, and this guy was hamming it up. Peter Riegert, he was just hamming it up so much. He was playing like the doorman, and I think we would recognize him most from The Mask.
Yeah.
Because he was the guy chasing Jim Carrey in The Mask. And man, he was just so funny. He's just the most stereotypical gangster guy with the accent. Every side comment, he was rude to Sylvester Stallone through the whole movie, and just the doorman. He was the crux of a lot of the mix up with the bags and stuff. And yeah, I was just like, you can't make a movie like this anymore, because people just take shit too seriously. They're being, offensively stereotypical today. But, I like seeing them in these costumes. That's like, seeing them as a throwback movie in the 30s, because they don't move locations much. That's something you got to swallow. Like, you don't really see them going around to different hideouts and stuff like that. So, it's questionable if you can really suspend your disbelief to really believe that this is a 1930s movie. But it doesn't matter. They're all speaking the lingo. There's someone singing opera in the background, part of the intro with the little cartoon opening was that.
Yeah, it's, you've got another good performance is Kurtwood Smith as the lieutenant who's determined to bust Stallone, and the other gangsters who think Stallone is up to something, and the cops think he's up to something, and it's there's lots of great moments where, whether it's Don Amici as the priest or Chaz Palminteri, where they're trying to catch up with what's happening, because the characters are completely lost, because things are happening right behind their backs sometimes, and it's like you said, it's not a perfect movie, because I do think that you could have cast somebody better than Stallone. Stallone does his best, and I don't think he embarrasses himself by any means. But you could have cast somebody who maybe has some better comedic timing than he does. I always thought that Stallone was. I mean, if you compare him, and again, the one you can compare him to best is Schwarzenegger. Even in the action movies, Schwarzenegger got the one-liners. Stallone tried to have the one-liners, and they didn't ever really land. I can't think of one Stallone one-liner from one of his movies where that was particularly memorable, and yet I can think of a dozen from Schwarzenegger. I
can only think of one legendary Stallone quote, because the movie was so bad. It's like one of the worst lines delivered in the movie ever. I am the law.
Yeah, okay. that would be the only one. And yeah, that's terrible.
That's a
movie.
Terrible movie that had to be redone later, and that didn't save the movie. But I want to veer off topic slightly and say this. So while you were talking, and while everything you said about Schwarzenegger, I feel is correct about being the superior action comedian, I was curious. Just jumped on Google and I put in Sly Stallone comedy movies. Now, Jesus Christ, I was like, wow. I forgot that some of them he tried were stinkers. Now, the first one that comes is Stop or My Mum Will Shoot. My God.
Yeah.
My
I don't
God.
think I've ever gotten all the way through that.
Oh, my God, that's bad. The next one, Tango and Cash.
I mean, I guess it is sort of, it's an action comedy.
Yeah. And again, the next one, I know what you're going to say. It is, in my mind, an action comedy, but Stallone is not responsible for the comedy, and that's Demolition Man.
Yes.
One of the great, in my opinion, action comedies, but it's not Stallone that's given it. Well, you could debate he has one or two quirky lines, but I love that movie. I love Demolition Man.
Yeah, I do too. I love Demolition. I try to love Tango and Cash. It's not a terrible movie, but it's not a very good movie either. But Demolition Man's great.
Oh my God. So yeah, and lastly they have one here where I'm like, this is more a very, very self-aware movie, which I do enjoy a lot, which is Grudge Match.
Yeah, that one's pretty good, and it's older Stallone.
Yeah,
and he's not trying to be. He's not actually even particularly funny in it. It's more De Niro that they give the comedy to.
Yeah, and you're laughing at them, really.
Yes,
for that movie, you're laughing at them. So yeah, I know this is kind of another short one, but I think this is a really good overall movie, fun, and I think especially it's one of those movies, when I was watching it, I love to see a young Sly Stallone do something different, work with all these actors I never knew he worked with, doing a period piece screwball comedy with stereotypical overacted Italian gangsters. I was like, what a delight, what a delight. You know, my girlfriend liked it, I liked it, and I'm just like, to me, this is the definition of a hidden gem. It's not amazing, as you said multiple times, James. It's not amazing, but I found this a delightful surprise. And more than anything, I'm kind of shocked that Sly Stallone did a fall on his face making this movie. So regardless of the movie not making money, because what I was going to say is when you watched it originally, everyone expected something else, like you already said. So when the word got out, this was not anything like that. I can definitely see this movie bombing because of that. But fast forward to 2022, you heard about Sly Stallone making this gangster mafia comedy from the 90s. You see Marissa Tomei and all these actors. Like, what a delight. I think this is a hidden gem. Definition of a hidden gem. Go check this one out. It's light, it's fluffy, it's funny, and you'll see a lot of great actors from the 90s and the 2000s, which you might be surprised did this movie.